Tonight's show is brought to you by...
Did you skip out on the Super Bowl party this year because you don't know how to say no to chicken wings and nachos? Did you cancel Christmas because you can't be around all those mountains of sweets and goodies? Are you just a big fat piece of shit in general, but you also have to leave the house every once in a while? Well, good news, fatty! Chucket Bucket's here to help! Hello, my hefty friends! It's Chucket Bucket founder Patrick Peppercorn, and have I got an exciting announcement for all of you. The Chucket Bucket Mobile Edition! It's a device that you can strap to your fat, sweat-hog neck that allows you to eat in public. And you can eat anything you want. Cram it into your gullet like the disgusting animal that you are. As long as you vomit it all out into the piece of plastic hanging from your fucking neck. Order now at facebook.com/chuckitbucket and change your life.
Chucket Bucket is a registered trademark of the Peppercorn Corporation. Chucket Bucket cannot guarantee weight loss, happiness, or an increased quality of life, and is not responsible for any possible side effects, including anorexia nervosa, bulimia, rumination, or avoidant restrictive food intake disorder. To order, visit facebook.com/chuckitbucketdiet today.
Hello, and welcome to the War On Morons, where we speak truth to stupidity. I'm Anissa.
And I'm Jay.
We want to thank you for tuning in, and as a reminder, as always, you can call us anytime. Call our call-in line, 813-906-9099. Either call in live or leave us a voicemail, but either way, we want to hear from you.
And of course, you can also shoot us off an email at thewaronmorons@gmail.com. We'd love to have you as part of the show.
Absolutely. Now, to start off this week's show, we have a Groundhog Day story making the news. As everybody knows, this past weekend it was Groundhog's Day, where we were told whether or not we're in for 6 more weeks of winter. Luckily, that doesn't apply to us here in Florida, but...
we got other stuff to worry about.
That's true. PETA is making the news because they are calling for Punxsutawney to retire Punxsutawney Phil and use an animatronic groundhog instead.
How would a robot know if it's going to be winter or spring?
Well, they claim that using AI, it would be able to predict. And hey, if it's good enough for Bill Murray in Groundhog Day, why the hell not?
I think that is a terrible idea because I trust Phil. I trust an actual groundhog to tell me the weather, not a freaking robot. AI will not replace him.
I agree. He's too cute to retire.
Although, I do have a great idea. I'm going to draft a letter to whoever runs this thing later. I think that if he comes out and he predicts there's going to be 6 more weeks of winter, then we should all shoot him.
Well, that would be a reason to call PETA.
No, everybody should just show up Groundhog's Day with their rifles, and if he sees a shadow, then you just open fire.
Well, who wins?
The people of Pennsylvania. They have a good time.
I think that sounds absolutely insane. And speaking of wild animals with no regard for hygiene, our next story is about a Massachusetts serial pooper who was arrested after the police caught her defecating in a parking lot.
This is getting out of hand, people. I mean, first we got the entire city of San Francisco. Then we got that high school teacher in Wisconsin. Now this woman is shitting in the streets of Boston or whatever. What is happening, America?
Apparently she was doing this for months. Months! I mean, apparently they were doing a stakeout to try to find the serial pooper because the grocery store she kept doing it at was complaining. And so an officer that was patrolling the parking lot spotted her waiting for the lot to clear. So at least she had some dignity. I mean, she wasn't just doing this in front of people, but she was waiting for the lot to clear. Then she opened the driver's side door of her Lincoln and defecated out the door.
Stealth mode initiated.
I literally cannot think of a more insane way to poop in a parking lot.
Can you imagine if you're bringing your groceries out to your car and you walk past this happening? You see somebody's ass pop out of the window and then start taking a dump in the street.
I think the more terrifying part to this story is that she was employed as a nanny. She was in charge of supervising and partially raising other people's children, and this is how she decided to release her bowel.
You'd think she'd know enough to get a diaper. God. Anyway, let's move on from this one.
Yeah, for sure. Then we have a story about a man who died, unfortunately, after making a 300-foot jump over the San Joaquin River in a Mercedes.
At least he died being awesome.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty incredible. A 58-year-old Fresno man who was escaping the police, so he was in like a high-speed chase, drove his silver Mercedes at over 100 miles an hour and hurtled it over the San Joaquin River. Apparently, it traveled like 330 feet across the river.
Yeah, usually when people do this, it's not in a frickin' Mercedes. I imagine if he had like a Lexus or a Bentley.
I mean, I think the best possible version of this story would be a Ferrari.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was thinking a Lincoln. Then he could take a shit like while he's... Anyway.
The police apparently are investigating the situation. They have told the news that drugs may have been a factor here.
May. Yeah.
Maybe, just maybe.
Wild speculation.
Speaking of morons on the move, we have a man who was cited for using a fake skeleton to drive in the HOV lane.
Now, if he was using a real skeleton, would that have made it legal?
Ooh, good question.
Because, I mean, that's technically, that was a person.
That's a good point. That's a legality. Now, the factors here was a fake skeleton, but the skeleton passenger was wearing a hat, which changes everything.
He should have probably put a mask on it, too.
I mean, something. He should have rigged it up like Kevin did in Home Alone to make it move and stuff. Then he would have gotten away with it.
Wow.
Oh, man. For our final transportation-related story of the day here.
I was trying to sound effects. I thought that would be fun.
Okay. We'll go with it. Although this one's not car travel related. We have a female airport guard who was fired for slipping a mean note to a random traveler in the airport.
Really? What did it say?
Well, it basically just said, "You ugly," with a lot of exclamation points.
Was he ugly?
The report doesn't say if the man was ugly or not, but apparently this woman had a whole thing going. She kept asking him, like, he didn't care about the random piece of paper that the TSA guard handed him. He just thought it was garbage or who knows what, so he wasn't even going to open it. But she kept asking him, "Are you going to open it? Are you going to open it?" And when he did, he was like, "Oh, you're insulting me."
Wow. What I would have done is I would have just grabbed a pen and I would have corrected her grammar. I've been like, "No, it's you're ugly."
That's a good point. Yeah, "you ugly" with 3 exclamation points.
Only one needed.
Apparently, CCTV footage caught her laughing as he walked away. And then she started tearing another piece of cardboard from a box and began writing another note, presumably to the next passenger in line.
You know, between this and the guy last week who grabbed the woman's braids and yelled, "Giddy up," like, I mean, TSA, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think the message here is just don't fly out of Rochester International Airport because, I mean, you pretty much get what you expect when you go to Rochester.
Yeah, but then you're stuck in Rochester.
Okay, good point. It looks like we're getting a call from our call-in line here. Shall we pick it up?
Why not?
All right. Hello, caller. I see you're calling in from Chatsworth, California. Who's calling?
God damn it. I'm not calling from Chatsworth. I've never even been to Chatsworth. I'm calling from Beverly Hills, California. You know, where all the movie stars live. You know that place? You ever seen a map?
Oh, interesting. Okay. Are you calling from a cell phone or a landline?
Don't worry about where I'm calling from, except for I'm calling from Beverly Hills, California. I've got an issue. The whole thing with the phone company, I don't know what their deal is. Anyway, it's Dr. Felsmere. How's it going?
Oh, hey, Dr. Felsmere. Thanks for calling back in.
Yeah, I had to weigh in on this story about the ugly guy. I mean, this woman was providing a very valuable service, letting them in. A lot of people have no idea that they're hideous.
Well, that's, I guess, one way to look at it.
I mean, apparently some people think that beauty's a subjective thing, but it's not. This man's ugly. This woman let him know. Now he'll get something done about it. It's not like a fat person. You know when you're fat, you step on a scale, you break the scale. But when you're ugly, I mean, you look in the mirror, you don't necessarily break the mirror. But this man needed to know, so we can go to somebody like me and he can correct it. Am I wrong here?
I see your logic, but it's still not nice to do.
It doesn't matter if it's nice to do. I've got a business to run. I'm a plastic surgeon. I've been in business for a long time, and the reason that I'm in business is so people can fix God's mistakes, like this man's face.
Wow, that is a horrible thing to say about this man. I mean,
it's not a horrible thing. It's the truth. Did you have something wrong with the truth?
I have nothing wrong with the truth, but there is such a thing as being brutal with it. I mean, come on.
Yeah, how else how should I say it? Excuse me, sir, I hate to break the news to you, but you look like you broke all the fucking branches on the ugly tree.
Oh my God! I mean, what if the person knows they're ugly and feels really insecure about it, but they can't afford to go to a plastic surgeon?
Well, maybe he needs to get a better job. He wouldn't be living in Rochester. Anyway, the real tragedy on this story is the fact that I'm going to have to hire a new TSA screener.
What?
Well, I mean, I don't work for the TSA, but I've got agents, throughout the country. They work for me. Flip a note here or there.
So you put her up to this to generate business for yourself?
Have you ever heard of a side hustle?
Yes.
And millennials love it. You can't get enough money from one job. You got to do something else. I said, look, you gotta let these ugly people know. You gotta let these fat asses know, that they're an abomination.
That's horrible, Dr. Felsmere. What a smear marketing campaign.
Hey, it gets results. Speaking of, have you ever considered getting some work done?
You know what, Dr. Felsmere? That's enough. Goodbye. How is he going to say I'm ugly? He doesn't even know what I look like.
Look, I mean, that guy's a real jerk. That's all I can say about him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's his deal with, look, dude, your phone number says where you are. We know you live in Chatsworth. What's wrong with Chatsworth?
Apparently he's not a very good plastic surgeon. That's why he has to target ugly people in airports.
Yeah, maybe one day you can be from Beverly Hills, but I doubt it.
I doubt it. All right, moving on. We have a women's group in Quebec whose funding is under review after they called for a ban on man-woman relationships.
Oh, yeah, that's a really, really great idea. What, man and women?
Yeah, we should ban that.
Okay, so everybody by law needs to be a homosexual now.
Absolutely.
Boy, Canada, all their migrant populations are going to really love this one.
I mean, honestly, this is just the stupidity that comes from, these people. Gabrielle Bouchard, who's the president of the Fédération des Femmes du Québec. I'm sorry, I don't speak French at all. But she made the controversial comment Tuesday on Twitter, where all great prophets go to release their sage wisdom into the world.
Yeah, well, at least we don't have to worry about this movement lasting very long.
No, I would think in one generation they would be completely out of the picture.
Yeah, one generation later.
If you want to know what she fully said, I think it's really great. The full tweet was, heterosexual relationships are really violent. In addition, the vast majority of those relationships are based on religion. It may be time to have a conversation about banning them and abolishing them.
Yeah, because every lesbian couple I've ever met, they get along so well.
Look, at the end of the day, the comment is potentially going to cost her and her federation $120,000 a year. So good work.
Yeah. Well, with it being Canada, they're probably going to double their funding.
Yeah, we'll see. One way or the other. We have another political story here. A New Jersey mayor admitted to passing out drunk and pantsless in his employee's bed.
Is he the mayor of a frat?
No, he's the mayor of a township.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, he's 71 years old, so you'd think he'd know how to hold his liquor by now, but apparently not.
At least he didn't shit his pants.
Oh, my God. Well, no report on that, so no guarantees, but Apparently, he reported that he had too much to drink at the party, which was attended by him and about 24 of his town staffers at his female employee's house on January 10th. So he admits, I did go upstairs to bed, and asked if he took his pants off before getting into the employee's bed. He said, yes, that's true.
At least the employee wasn't in the bed.
I mean, yeah, that's a relief. The mayor's wife had to actually go and pick him up.
You know, Knoxville has a pro wrestler for a mayor, and you don't hear this kind of shit coming out of Knoxville.
Good point. Ay, ay, ay. Well, so much for his moral compass, which is apparently what got him elected. Anyways, we have another U.S. government worker, a postal worker this time, making the headlines.
Did they shoot somebody?
No.
All right, then they're doing better than normal.
They apparently rented a storage unit for $49 a month. Why is this newsworthy? Because they used it to hide mail that he felt too pressured to deliver.
Oh, okay. Bold strategy.
Very bold strategy. Apparently, he felt pressured, couldn't make time to complete his mail route, and so he decided to just take all the mail that he didn't have time to deliver and store it in his storage facility.
Well, if he said he was putting it in a safe place, then, I mean, he would have gotten away with it.
Technically, he delivered it somewhere, just not to the intended recipients.
Wow. And people wonder why everybody's using FedEx now.
Right? I mean, apparently he had 5,000 pieces of mail in this storage unit, including 97 pieces of first-class mail with letters from the Department of Motor Vehicles, the IRS, insurance companies, tax documents. I mean, things people might be looking for.
Maybe there was like a mean dog on his route, and he didn't want to get, barked at and bitten.
Look, at the end of the day, this is probably one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. If you sign up to be a post office worker, really, there's only one job to be done.
What's that poem about, like, when it rains and it snows?
Right, and snow, rain, sleet, or shine, it doesn't matter. The mail
because
gets
I got a
delivered.
storage unit.
Oh, man.
Anyway, looks like we're getting a call on line 1 here. What's it, 718? You know where that is?
Yeah, it's New York.
New York City.
Awesome.
All right. Caller, state your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, hello. This is Anne Marie calling from Queens.
Oh, hey, Ann, what's going on?
It's Anne Marie. Get it right. Now, the reason I'm calling, I saw you got this guy from the United States Post Service. Oh, my God, what a freaking moron. I cannot believe that this idiot thought that he should go and get a freaking storage unit. What the hell?
Yeah, I agree with you. Finally we get a caller that calls in that I agree with.
I mean, it's unbelievable. No wonder he's on your show. I mean, at the end of the day, all you got to do is deliver the mail. And I should know, because I deliver the mail. And
Exactly.
at the end of the day, all you got to do is deliver it. If you can't, don't get a storage unit, because that has your name written all over the evidence. I mean, everybody's going to know it was you who was not delivering it.
Yeah, I hope the guy lost his job.
Oh, I'm sure he did. The post office takes this stuff very seriously. I don't mess around. When I'm doing my route, I don't mess around.
Oh, you're a mail deliverer?
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. Exactly what I do, and I do it very well. There are times when, it gets a little tough. You got to deliver the mail in all different weather conditions. There's a lot of mail to deliver. And, it can be tough sometimes, but, you can't put it in a storage unit. You got to do something a little bit more creative with it.
Like what?
Yeah, you got to be creative with it. I like to think of it as like my little art therapy, I don't have time for hobbies. I don't go down to the Y.
Okay, I'm still not following. What are you saying that you do?
Every once in a while on my route, there's some people who get a bit too uppity with it. They're just getting a bunch of mail and it's a bunch of bullshit. So, I can't stand it. These people need to get up with the times. Sign up for paperless statements. Anyways, I teach them a lesson. I get in there, I have a paper shredder, I have a scissors in my front. Nobody can prove it with me, but, sometimes I make a little arts and crafts out of it. That's all.
You make arts and crafts with people's bills.
Yeah, I like to think of it as like a form of artistic expression. You gotta make them ask questions about their mail. Like cows it makes them really question, how the mail got delivered to them in this fashion, in this form.
I think what you're doing is worse. It's worse than what that guy was doing because, I mean, at least he wasn't destroying it.
Well, at least I'm not a moron, okay? I get the job done, but nobody can prove it with me.
You called in a national program just now. You told us your name. You told us what city you're in. I hope that they track you down. I hope you lose your job over this.
At the end of the day, we're coming up on tax season this year. This is the time when I do my best work. It's my magnum opus. I'm proud of what I do.
I hate to know, but what do you do at tax time?
Well, it's very cold up here in New York, and, everybody gets kind of sick of it. So I like to turn it around and, make people smile a little. So, those little paper snowflakes you make from folding up and cutting the paper a certain way?
Yes.
I do that with people's W-2s. But only if they didn't leave a tip for me at Christmas.
If they didn't leave a tip. Thanks for calling in, Anne-Marie. Please just get a different job or a hobby.
Get a life.
That takes the cake. I mean, we've got some... I can't believe that... That's worse. It's worse, right?
Look, this just goes to show I was 100% right. We should be leaving a tip for these people at Christmas. I told you.
Oh, was it extortion? You leave a tip or they'll cut up your tax forms?
Well, apparently.
I'm surprised she's not putting mail bombs in people's...
Yikes.
Anyway, let's play a commercial really quick and get our bearings.
Hey you, out there in Radio Land, are you a vegetarian or a vegan or just, a planet Earth lover, an animal lover, and you've always wanted to eat meat but not have any of the guilt? It's your opportunity now, because it's me, Mac, from the hottest restaurant in Cincinnati, Mac's Impossible Chili, and now I'm taking my wonderful recipes nationwide. That's right, go to my new website, it's maximpossible.com, and you can order my famous chili. You can get hot dogs, you can get hamburgers, you can get bone-in chicken wings and ribs. Those assholes at Beyond don't do that, but I do, and I'll ship them to you. I'll even freeze it for you. You'll swear it's meat, but it's not made for meat eaters. I make it for vegetarians and vegans, with all of you in mind, and you won't believe it. You're gonna love it so much. Listen, here, I've even got celebrity endorsements.
I'm Anissa. Impossible how good it is.
That's Anissa from the War On Morons show. See, she endorsed it because it's so good. So go to maximpossible.com and order your food today, and you're gonna be screaming to the hills. It's impossible how good it is.
All right, let's move on to something a little bit different here. We have some YouTube pranksters from Australia who were appearing in court because they drove /scuba dived a car that was flooded with water to a liquor store in a viral video.
Okay, I know they're weird down there, but how the hell do you even do that?
Well, apparently they jerry-rigged this car up. It was during a heat wave, so the joke was, our car doesn't have air conditioning, so we're going to scuba dive in it. I don't know. It's freaking weird, but the 28-year-old is now appearing in court because, you legally can't drive while you're underwater.
How the hell do you see the road? Like, I can't even picture this. This sounds terrifying.
Yeah, apparently it was pretty terrifying. The two of them were seen wearing goggles and scuba diving regulators while driving the sedan. I just can't picture it at all. Then the weirdest part of the story is they go to the liquor store, they get 2 bottles of beer, and somehow they drink the bottles of beer in the flooded car?
I'm out of comments here.
Are they morons or are they masters of physics?
It sounds like, honestly, I would much prefer watching a TV show with these guys than like Bill Nye.
Yeah, that's honestly peak stupidity. It's so stupid, it's almost clever.
Yeah.
Australia, you're the Florida of the world.
Now for some stupidity that's just plain stupidity. YouTuber J Station admitted to faking his girlfriend's death to get more subscribers.
It probably worked. This guy, have you seen his videos?
Unfortunately, yes.
This guy's a lunatic. Like, I can't believe he's got millions and millions of subscribers. I can't even describe it. So he makes these ridiculous videos where he pretends that he's like talking to ghosts and like he's got like haunted puppets stalking him.
And doesn't he do one with like an evil Kermit the Frog?
Yeah, he's got an evil Kermit the Frog that stalks him. He's got like 100 million subscribers, this guy. He's rich off of YouTube.
I mean, it's just crazy to me that he's seeing the success that he has, but I'm not surprised that he took it too far. He seemed to be doing very well with, the silly stuff that he was doing before, but then he decided to fake his girlfriend's death to get even more subscribers. I mean, that's horrible. She's a real person with a real family and friends and people who've known her. I mean...
Oh, she wasn't in on it.
Well, apparently she was, but she must have gotten sick of it pretty quickly because in the middle of it, she dumped him.
Getting dumped by a dead woman.
They had a whole plan. They were going to use a Ouija board to communicate with her while she was passed on in the afterlife and then resurrect her somehow, but it didn't really work out because they broke up.
Yeah, and apparently the police got involved.
Yeah, because he apparently hit her. So, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're a stupid piece of shit, you're a stupid piece of shit. So, they do what they do.
Yeah. By the way, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Yes.
This guy should not have millions and millions more viewers than we do.
Very true. Speaking of adults who play pretend, our next story comes out of India, where villagers are dressing up as bears to scare off more than 2,000 wild monkeys.
This is incredible. So wait, they're wearing bear costumes.
Right. Well, see, the thing is that the 2,000 monkeys that invade their village attack them.
Okay.
So the monkeys attack, and so they have to find a way to, ward off the monkeys. So one of the village leader's relatives said, why don't we dress up as bears? And they were like, yeah, sure, why the hell not?
Okay, so bears trump monkeys. I'm just having trouble picturing, grown adults putting on, teddy bear costumes and chasing monkeys around. What a freaking image.
They're all taking turns in the village, and to be fair, it's ridiculous, but it's not exactly stupid. I mean, it's kind of working.
Why don't they shoot at the monkeys?
Well, that would probably be more effective.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would probably work.
Although if it works, maybe we should get some people in bear suits to go down to the southern border.
At the end of the day, they're not just stopping at bears. There's a farmer in India who's using his pet dog painted with tiger stripes to do the same thing.
India, you're amazing. I love you. Honestly, they shouldn't be on this show. That's not moronic. It's working. They're working with what they've got.
Exactly. It's ridiculous, but not stupid.
This is why they're taking all our tech support jobs. Because they can think outside of the box.
Damn right. And finally, we have another story where people are acting like animals. We have Florida, of course, where outside of Miami, look, Miami, who needs the Super Bowl when you're already so full of combat sports? This is essentially a case of two families who were tackling each other at a Chuck E. Cheese.
Okay, that makes sense. Chuck E. Cheese, fun and games and brawling.
Well, yeah, apparently Chuck E. Cheese serves alcohol. Did you know that?
Well, that makes the kids a little easier to deal with, I guess.
Yeah, well, apparently one person was looking at a group the wrong way and instigated a problem. So all the families got involved and just started brawling with each other in the Chuck E. Cheese. All the kids ran away, screaming, crying. It was a mess.
Did the guy in the Chuck E. Cheese outfit, get involved?
I would have paid money to see that, but unfortunately, I don't think Chuck E. Cheese got involved.
Well, because I saw another one. We don't have it in the list of stories. We should. Another one out of Florida this week. Where you got to see this video. So some lady in a Minnie Mouse outfit is beating the living shit out of some guy.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and then Goofy's there too, and Mickey, and they're just all taking turns. They beat the trash out of this guy, and they drop the Minnie head on the ground, and then they just they scatter.
Florida, what is it with you and fighting rodent costumed people? Honestly, that's pretty bizarre. 2 in 1 week?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, oh boy, looks like we're getting another call in. This one's out of.
Hey, it looks like a Miami area code. Maybe it's one of the belligerent combatants.
Could be. Let's find out. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, it's me. It's Vinny V. I'm here in South Beach, baby.
Oh boy, Vinny. Well, how you like?
Hey, this is awesome. I gotta tell you, I'm here in Miami for the big super duper game, and I love it down here. There's some beautiful vixens everywhere. Everybody's loving the Vinny V. You know, I'm the king of this town. I'm the Nostradamus of the NFL. And hey, you gotta say, it's a wonderful Miami atmosphere, baby. Sorry, I had to say hello to one of the locals.
Gotcha. Well, sounds like you're having a good time. What did you think?
I'm having a wonderful time. I'm even drinking. I'm a little bit drunk. I'm drinking the top shelf liquor, but I had to call in. I'm so glad you mentioned the super duper. Can I just call it the fucking Super Bowl? You're not gonna get sued.
Yeah, might as well.
All right, they're not gonna sue you. You don't got that big of a reach. Anyway, I heard you talking about Miami and the Super Bowl on that last story, and I said, you know what? I'm feeling charitable. I'm the man that knows all. I'm going to call the War On Morons. I'm going to tell my friends and all the listeners exactly what's going to happen in the big game. You see, normally, I make you call my 900 number. You'd have to call 1-900-V4-Vegas, $4.99 a minute, just to get my absolute lock of the year. But you know what? I'm so confident. Yeah, I'm so confident that I know what's going to happen in this Super Bowl. I'm going to call. I'm going to tell you what's going to go down tomorrow night. All right?
Well, hold on. Wait a minute. I mean, what?
All right. So we've got Kansas City versus San Francisco. Oh, we got the Heartland versus the San Fran. Well, we've got heart disease versus HIV.
Whoa, Vinny, I don't know what you're doing here, but
We got steakhouses versus bathhouses. I think you get the point, right?
yeah, I get the point, but I don't understand.
So everybody wants to know. I mean, they think this is going to be a high-flying, high-scoring affair. The over-under in Vegas is 54 points. That's a lot of points for a Super Bowl. Look, it's going to get close. It's going to get damn close. But take the under. And that's a lock. Take the under 54 points.
Yeah, we know.
And then Kansas City, you know, they're the favorite. They're rolling in there. They got Patrick Mahomes. He's a 1.5 point favorite. You know what? That's not enough points. So take the money line. Take Kansas City. I'm telling you right now, the Kansas City, they're going to win by 10 times that. If I look into my crystal ball here, I've seen Kansas City 30, San Francisco 21, and actually 31. Kansas City 31, San Francisco 20. Kansas City. The Indians, the Chiefs, they're gonna scalp them. They're gonna drag them to the DP.
Stop it, Vinny. What the hell's wrong with you? We already saw
Why do you keep interrupting me?
What? We already saw the freaking game. I don't know what you're going on
What
about.
are you talking about? You saw the game. It's Saturday night.
We're
It's
live,
Saturday night.
Vinny. We're live.
You're live. Son of a bitch. God damn. Oh, God. No, G told me we were going to do a thing. I was going to say I was calling it on Saturday. We were going to play it like a pre-recording, and then everybody, they'd be calling my number to get my NBA, my locks, my halftime picks.
Oh,
We're not
boy.
live on the air now, are we?
I don't know what to tell you, Vinny. But
Oh, God.
yeah.
Hey, well, for the record, I predicted these exact same things the other day.
I'm
This is
sure you
bad for
did.
my business.
I'm sure you did, Vinny. Listen,
Can we go back? Jesus.
what the hell was that?
Well, I mean, we had a thing. I thought I told you about it. He was
basically we were going to say he called in on Saturday, and then he was going to get the pick exactly right. And
People are going to lose trust in our platform.
no, it's not about trust. It's about he's a sponsor. He gives us a lot of money, and I'm just trying to it would have worked if you had known.
I guess I missed that memo. And on that note, let's call it a day.
Yeah, because after all, we get to do it again tomorrow.
What?
And the next day.
What are you talking about?
Because Groundhog's Day.
Oh.
Yeah, the Bill Murray joke.
Wow.
All right, I fell flat.
Wow.
See you next week.
Next week, guys.